Hey everybody, this is Rob Milanovich with This Board Game Life. A couple weeks ago, Steve Finn of Dr. Finn's Games reached out looking for folks to check out his brand new game that he had coming out on Kickstarter in 2016. Was I interested in checking it out? Absolutely. If you're not familiar with Steve Finn or Dr. Finn's Games, I probably only need to mention Biblios, and then I'm sure you've heard of that one. It's a game that so many people enjoy. Well, he designed it. In addition to that, he's got other really good games like Gunrunners, Institute for Magical Arts, Capo di Capi, Foragers, and a couple others. But I'm not here to talk about all those other games. I'm here to talk about the Butterfly Garden. Keep in mind that what you're going to see is not the final version of the game. It's an early sort of prototype. I mean, the game is pretty much the way it's going to be in the end. The art's going to be different. Some things might change. The components might be slightly different. Art cards components? I don't know. But anyway, there's going to be some variances in the final product. So let's take a look. I've got all the different components of the game, or different types of cards, laid out here on the table so we can kind of take a look at them real quick. So first off, we have the butterfly cards up here. And they'll have a couple of different things on them. They'll have a number up in the top left corner over here. They're going to have a number of different butterflies, different colors, different shapes, big ones over here, and they're also going to be on the side as well. Some cards will also have a special action symbol up on the upper right hand corner as well. So I'll go into more detail on these later on. Also, I did want to mention that being colorblind myself, colorblindness is always a concern for me. I was wondering if I would have issues with these butterflies, but rest assured, at least for me, I'm red-green colorblind. They're pretty easy to tell apart, and also they're different shapes, which helps a lot. Now, there's 5 different colors of butterflies, and they're in different spots over here. And then also we have some butterflies like those guys right over here. These are rainbow butterflies. Essentially, they can be substituted for any of these other colors, so they're good for any color. Then here we have our jar cards here. In the final game, it looks like, or in the final version, this card here has been split into 2. So here we have our jar on the left. Over here, it also gives us our turn, what we're going to be doing on our turns, the 4 steps, and then also it gives us an explanation of what all the different special actions are that we have in the upper right hand corner. We also have victory cards over here. These cards here are double-sided, and you can use these to help keep track of your score. And then down here, these are delivery cards. Basically, they're worth a certain number of VPs, victory points, for the end of the game, of course. The premise of the game is you're basically going to be a butterfly collector, and you're going to be catching the butterflies, putting them into your jar, and then delivering them into the butterfly garden and scoring points. The person with the most points wins, and I believe it starts with a 2-player game. You win at 50, and then 3 is 45, then 40, etc. Working your way down. All right, and let's set up the game. I'll set it up for 3 players. There is the rules are slightly different for 2 players. I'll call them out when we get to them. So here we have a setup for 3 players. And let me just go over real quick what we've got here. Each player has a hand of 3 cards. Each player has a butterfly jar and a garden. On this particular version of the game, it's 1 card, but in later versions, it's actually 2 cards. You get a really nice garden card with beautiful art on it, and you get the jar. Then we have the butterflies up there with the butterfly deck. So you deal 1 per player for those. And then over there, we have the delivery cards. And those are going to be mono players -1. So 3-player game, we're putting down 2. Over on the deck, we turn the top card face up just so we can see what's coming next, but that card is not available for delivery. So you can use it only next turn or whenever it gets put down. Okay, and then what we're going to be doing is we're going to be collecting butterflies, putting them in our jars, and then delivering them, basically matching the butterflies on the cards to what's required on the delivery cards. We're going to be matching those and then scoring points. For example, that's 8 points and then 6 VPs, 6 victory points on the card on the right. There is a special rule on the delivery cards for 2 players in the setup, where you take the victory, or you take the delivery deck and you put it down, and then 1 card goes on either side of the delivery deck. Whoever goes first gets to choose from either side. Whoever goes second gets to choose only from their side of the deck. So that kind of changes things around a little bit, makes it a little more difficult for some of the players to score. So what do we do? So phase 1 of the game is to go through your hand. That's these guys here. You go through your hand and you pay attention to this number in the top left over here. And what you do is you choose a number, or you choose one of these cards and you play it face down in front of you. Whoever plays the lowest number goes first, second lowest goes second, etc. So for example, if we were to play like this, like that. Once everybody has them turned down, you simultaneously flip them up, and we would have this player go first, second, and third. Okay, so this player here is the first player. What do they do now? Now they go on to phase 2, which is detailed over here on the jar card. So on your turn, you do stuff in this order. You capture a butterfly. So what you do is you look at your butterflies over here, and what you're looking to do is you're looking to collect enough butterflies of the different butterfly types and colors. You're going to put them in your jar, and then when you have enough in your jar of the correct types and counts, you're going to be delivering them and collecting the point cards over there. And I'll get into those in a second. So let's say if this player was going to choose one, let's say they'll take this one over here because it's got a lot of the pretty butterflies. Okay, so they take this card and they put it in their hand. That's very important. Got to keep that in mind. So you put it in your hand. Second step is you look on your card that you played. If there is a symbol in the top right, then you do that action. And the actions are detailed here on this card, where basically you have draw a card, add a card to your hand, return a card to the bottom of the deck, put a card from the hand into the jar, and then put a card from the jar into the hand, immediately deliver to the garden and score victory points, or draw a card and add it to your jar. So this card doesn't have any of those symbols up there, so we can go on to the next step. And so now what we do is the card that we played down, we add it to our jar. So over here, I'm basically just going to do this over here. So I'm going to put it on the right. So this butterfly, this lone butterfly, is now in my jar. And then the last step is going to be if I have enough butterflies in my jar, can I deliver them and claim one of the cards? So the delivery cards have a whole bunch of different stuff on them. So for example, this one over here has 3 different kinds of butterflies. I need 2 of one kind, 3, and that's the 4th. If I have that combination of butterflies or more, you can overpay if you want. If you have those, then you discard those butterflies into a discard pile, and you collect that card, and then you can slide it over here on the left. Or in the final version, it's going to be on your garden card. This one over here is a little bit of a special card, where it basically says these over here are question mark butterflies. I don't know if you can see little question marks all over the butterfly there. but they can be any butterfly, and then this equal symbol just means that they need to be the same. So that can be 2 of any butterfly as long as those 2 are the same variety. So that was the turn for this first player here. We'll just go through a couple more over here. So this player played this guy. So that's second in play there, the second player. They're going to choose one of the butterflies. Let's say they'll choose this guy here, put it in their hand. This goes here. And this one played a special butterfly. This is a rainbow butterfly. This can count as any one of the butterflies, any color. So this one now, he gets this card. And then this butterfly. This has a special symbol. I got ahead of myself here. So first is capture the butterfly. Put it in your hand there. Special symbol. This is the symbol to immediately deliver to the garden and score victory points. So this guy here is automatically worth 3 points and goes there. We're done there. So that is the first round. At this point, you reset. We did not use up any of those cards, so those stay. 1 card per player. Goes here. So we get 3 new cards, and now the players repeat this again, where they do phase 1, they pick a card, play it face down, then go to phase, they determine first, second, third player order, then they go to phase 2, which is going to be to carry out their turns, and repeat. You keep going until a person scores enough points to win the game. You complete. Everybody takes the same amount of, or completes that current turn, and then you hopefully have a winner. And then let me kind of show you what it is to kind of collect. Like, let's say if this person over here had these 2 cards, they could potentially claim the 6 victory point cards because they have these 2 same butterflies over here, because that's 2 butterflies, but they have to be the same. They could potentially also do it with this one here. Because this counts as any butterfly, so this would be the same as the other ones. If they use this card, they would overpay. No change, sorry, you don't get change on that. You lose whatever you don't use. There also is a limit on your jar over here. You can't have more than 8 butterflies, so you have to discard out and keep that at 8 or less butterflies. So that's essentially the game. It's very fast playing. Once everybody gets the rules of it down, they can play fairly quickly. At first, there are a couple of gotchas with this. People like to take these guys and try to put them in their jar. It's, you've got to get used to this. Goes into your, or the butterflies go into your hand, and the one that you played down goes into your jar. You got to remember that. People tend to mix that up. And also, if you play 2-player, you got to keep in mind that first player gets to choose from either side of the delivery stack. Second player gets only their side. Got to remember that. That's really easy to forget. So it helps if both sides kind of remember and try to keep people honest. So that's basically about it. And here in a second, I'll let you know what I think. Well, I definitely enjoy this game. It's a really light, fun, fast-playing game that you can teach to just about anybody in just a couple of minutes. And they can pick it up and just have a blast with it. The theme of it is very light. It's not offensive to people. It's not something that people can just get hung up on. Although I guess some hardcore gamers might go, oh, butterflies, I don't play a game with butterflies. But it's actually a good game. It's a good butterfly game. And who doesn't like butterflies? Everybody. Everybody loves them. It's perfect for the lunch crowd. You can bring it into work. You can bring it into school. You can bring it to family events. Show it to Aunt Myrtle after dessert. She'll have a great time, and a great time by everybody. And it's a game that kids can pick up really easily. Although really small kids tend to, with these types of games, they tend to get caught up in what I think of as I go first-itis. So they'll keep slamming those low-numbered cards. They're going first all the time. They're doing great. They're going first. But they're not getting any butterflies. But they pick out, and they catch on eventually. So if you're checking this video out during the Kickstarter window for this game, definitely check it out. Give it a look-see. Consider backing it, because this is a game that I'd really like to see created. Again, Dr. Finn's Games is a small independent publisher. Steve Finn publishes his own stuff under his company there, and they need our support because he's got this proven track record of games in the past that have all been great games. So I'd love to see this one added to the list. So thanks for watching, everybody.